I still remember the day the drum stopped beating. It was the heart of our village, the pulse that held us together. Every morning as the sun rose over the tall baobab trees, the deep, steady rhythm of the drum would echo through the valley. It was old Kofi who played it, his hands weathered like the ancient wood of the instrument itself. Kofi was the village's storyteller, the keeper of traditions. When he played, the children danced, the elders nodded in approval, and the hunters prepared for the day's journey with renewed strength. The drum spoke a language of its own, one of unity, strength, and life. But one morning the village awoke to silence. The drum was still. I was just a boy then, but I remember how my father and the other men gathered around Kofi's hut, their voices hushed. Kofi sat by the entrance, his usually bright eyes clouded. "The drum has spoken," he said in a voice that sent chills down my spine. "It will not sound again." Rumors spread like wildfire. Some said the spirits had taken the drum's voice as punishment. Others believed a curse had been placed upon it. But my mother, wise and calm as always, said, "The drum only speaks through those who listen." The village fell into an uneasy quiet. Without the drum, the mornings felt heavy, the air thick with uncertainty. The children stopped playing in the open fields, and even the elders, who usually spent their afternoons under the great acacia tree, sat in silence. Days turned to weeks, and Kofi, once the voice of the village, grew weaker. He no longer told stories in the evenings, no longer laughed with the children. It was as if he was fading with the drum's silence. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the hills, I found myself drawn to Kofi's hut. He was sitting outside, staring at the drum with sorrow in his eyes. I hesitated, but then stepped closer. "Kofi, why won't you play?" I asked. He looked at me for a long moment before speaking. "Because the drum knows," he whispered. "It knows that my time is near." Tears welled in my eyes. Kofi was old, but I had never imagined a time when he would not be here. "The drum is waiting," he continued, "waiting for someone who understands its voice." The next morning, before the sun had fully risen, I crept into Kofi's hut. The drum sat in the corner, its surface covered in a fine layer of dust. I placed my hands on it, feeling the grooves and cracks beneath my fingers. Taking a deep breath, I lifted my hands and struck the drum. The sound was hesitant at first, but then it grew, filling the air, waking the village. People emerged from their huts, their faces a mixture of wonder and relief. Kofi stood at the entrance of his hut, a faint smile on his lips. "You have heard its voice," he said softly. "Now it is yours." From that day on, I played the drum. It no longer belonged to Kofi alone. It belonged to the village, to the people. And though Kofi left us weeks later, his spirit remained in the rhythm of the drum, in the stories it told, and in the heartbeat of our village. The drum had never been silent. It had only been waiting.